Interpretation, or what are the things that we should consider when we do an interpretation? Political, right? First is politics, then religious, and what else? Food. Food comes under culture, right? Yeah. So another one is economic. Okay. So we discussed politics, religious, and what else we discussed? Politics and religious only, right? Yeah. So the third one is economic. There are some economic factors we should know. It will be helpful for the interpretation. I'll give some examples. So when Judas Iscariot, when he betrayed Jesus Christ, how much money he took from the 30 silver, right? 30 shekel or 30 pieces, or what is the significance of the 30 shekel of silver, or why did he, is there any significance for the 30, the number 30? Yeah, or just he thought, okay, this will be okay. No, it has a significance. The 30 has a significance. Why did Judas took 30 coins? First of all, it was a prophecy. In Zechariah 11, it was prophesied. So one way you can say it's a fulfillment of that prophecy, 30 shekels. And another one, when we study about Jesus Christ, we see the 4 stages of Jesus Christ. 4 stages of Jesus Christ. Okay. Number 1, as God, in Philippians chapter 2, okay? Philippians chapter 2 verses 6 to 9. If you read, we see the 4 stages of Jesus Christ. First, as God. Second, he was as servant. 3, as man. Exalted. Okay. So in 2, 6 to 9, we see these 3 stages. He was God, is God, of course, servant, man, and was an exalted position. So when we consider the servanthood of Jesus Christ, okay, the servanthood of Jesus Christ, so if you read like Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, how the gospel writes portrays Jesus Christ. Matthew portrays Jesus Christ as king, and Mark Jesus servant. Luke portrays Jesus Christ as man, and John portrays as God. See, four angle of or four dimensions of Jesus Christ. So here Mark is emphasizing his servanthood. Read Exodus chapter 21. Forget the passage. Exodus chapter 21. Huh? Exodus chapter 21. Hmm. 2? No, not 2. Okay, 28. And if an ox gore a man or a woman to death, the ox shall be surely stoned, and its flesh shall not be eaten. Not that words. Okay, 32. If the ox gore a man's servant or a maid servant, there shall be given unto their master 30 shekels of silver, and the ox shall be stoned. No? So what that verse says? If an ox gore a manservant or maid servant, the owner of that ox shall give 30 shekels of silver coin to whom? That family. Why? In those days, 30 shekel of silver is considered as a price, the price of a slave. 30 shekels of silver is considered as the price of a slave. And now coming to the point, why did Judas Iscariot took 30 shekels of silver to betray Jesus Christ? Actually, that signifies or that conveys the servanthood of Jesus Christ. It's not just he took the money and he betrayed. It conveys or it pictures the servanthood of Jesus Christ. He took as the price of a slave to betray Jesus Christ. In other words, now in Philippians chapter 2 verse 6 we see the word servant, right, in English, but in Greek it is doulos. Doulos means slave. It's not actually servant. Jesus Christ was a slave. He took the form of a slave. So now did he connect? Are you able to connect it? Now Judas Iscariot, he betrayed for the price of a slave. That is why with the 30 shekels of silver. Did you understand? Not clear? I can explain. Huh? Not clear. Okay. See, when we study about now the first question was, why did Judas took 30 shekels of silver to betray Jesus Christ? Okay. Is there any significance? And the answer is yes, there is significance. It is very significant. Why? First of all, the betrayal was a prophecy in Zechariah chapter 11. It was clearly says that he is going to be betrayed. Okay, first of all, that was the first one. Now the second one was the 30 shekels of silver. Why 30 shekels of silver? If you read Exodus chapter 21, right? 21 verses 32. If you read that passage, it is clearly says that if an ox, gore means just hit or kill or whatever, make injure or something, and the owner has to give how much 30 shekels of silver to that family. Why 30 shekels of silver? because those days it is considered as the price of a slave. 30 shekels of silver is considered as the price of a slave, and that is why it is the money was given. Okay. Now, why did Judas Iscariot took 30 shekels of silver? Because now when we see the four stages of Jesus Christ, we know he was as God, as servant, as man, and he was an exalted position. So the servanthood of Jesus Christ was very clear in the description of gospel, and even we looked at the life of Jesus Christ, it was very clear. And the 30 shekels of silver to prove or to convey this servanthood of Jesus Christ. Badal, we were discussing about why did so we are what are the factors that affect interpretation? First is politics, religious. Now we are studying about the economic. Okay, economic. I'm just taking an example. Why did Judas Iscariot took 30 shekels of silver to betray Jesus Christ? Is there any significance? 30 shekels of silver. And first of all, it was a prophecy. In Zechariah chapter 11, it was said that it was a prophecy. And second significance is in Exodus chapter 21:32. If you read, that passage says that 30 shekels of silver is the price of a slave. It's a price of a slave. When we study the stages of Jesus Christ, we know that Jesus Christ as God, and Philippians chapter 2 verse 6 to 9 is God, is servant, is man, and is in exalted position. So servanthood of Jesus Christ is very clear. Even in the gospel, Matthew portrayed Jesus Christ as king, Mark portrayed Jesus Christ as servant, Luke portrayed Jesus Christ as man, John portrayed Jesus Christ as God. So the servanthood is always everywhere, it is very clear. And why Judas Iscariot took 30 shekels of silver? It is to convey the servanthood of Jesus Christ. Okay, it is very sick. Now is it clear? Badal, is it clear for you? Okay. Okay, that is the first example. And how do we know? See, the economic of that days help us to understand the meaning of the 30 shekels, right? If you don't know the economic of that day, it is like unclear for us. We will not care about, okay, just a 30 piece of silver. That doesn't make any difference or anything. But if you know the economic of that time, the price, and one silver coin is considered as 1 day wage. It's 1 day wage or 1 year wage. I forgot. Okay, anyway, forget about that one. So that was the first example. And second one, you read Job chapter 22 verses 6. Job 22. Yeah, Job 22:6, right? Job. Okay, in those days, so if someone take money from someone, just for the security, what they will do is they will give their blanket. Okay, they will give their blanket to the one who gives the money. The debtor will give his blanket, which we cover for when we are very cold. So that one, and if that one who take money from that person, if he is not able to pay the money before the evening, the one who gives the money has to give back the blanket. That was a rule, because night Now, most of them are very poor and they are shepherds. And if they want to stay at the night, they use the blanket. So it is very useful for them. So according to the law, the one who take the money, he has to give back. Although he is not paying back the money, but it is no, they have to give back the blanket. That was the rule. So that is why here the Eliphaz is accusing Job that what he's telling. Okay, for thou hast taken pledges thy brother not for naught and stripped and naked of their clothing. So what Eliphaz is telling, you have taken clothes from them, but you haven't returned it. So that is one of the accusation that Eliphaz, one of the friends of Job, is making against Job. Okay. So those days there was even in the New Testament it was very clear. I don't know which passage is that. Is it in Matthew chapter 5? Let's see. Matthew 5 or 6? Yeah. Which was that? Matthew chapter 5 or 6? I forgot the ones. Either 5 or 6. 6, right? 5 is actually Sermon on the Mount, right? Which verse is that? 30? 37? 30. No, it's not there, man. 1 3. 6:30. No, man. No. 36.
No, nothing. If that is how God's thoughts are.
No, not that one. Not that one. Not that one. There are 4 things mentioned. I will tell you. 5. If I use my Bible, it's very easy to find. It's very difficult for me to find that verse. I already noted everything. There are 4 things mentioned. It's like if someone asks you to walk 1 mile, you have to go. Yeah, Matthew only. That's 5 or 6. That verse, no? 540. Yeah, 540. 5 verses 40. And if any man would go to law with thee and take away thy coat, let him have thy cloak also. Yeah. It is actually to the debtors he's telling. Actually, the law is what? The law is what? The one who gives the money, the one who takes the money, he has to give his cloth in the sense blanket to the one. And if he is not paying back the money before the evening, the one who gives the money, he has to return the blanket. But here Jesus Christ is telling to the debtors who takes the money, if he is coming and taking your cloth, you just give your blanket also. So then both sides Jesus Christ is even to the debtors is telling you have to follow the law. And to like again one more is like, and whosoever shall compel thee to go 1 mile, go with them too. You know why? You know what is the situation? In those days, the Roman soldiers, okay, Roman soldiers has a right. No, what right? If they carry the sword or anything, if they happen to see anyone, they can give that sword and all the equipments to them, all the like what they have, the armor and anything. No, they have to give. No, they can give to them, and they should carry that one like with them. It is there. It is a rule. A soldier can impose anyone who walks on the road. Okay, you just take this one and come with me. So he has to take 1 mile with him. So now Jesus Christ is telling, if he asks 1 mile, you just go 2 miles. So he is, now that is the situation of that time, of that day. So all those things are very, if you know the situation, it's very easy to understand. And now the second, now we have see two examples, right? One about the silver and two about the cloth. Now the third is Ruth chapter 4 verses 8. 4 verses 8 and 70. Ruth 4, 8 and 70. Hmm? 4, 8. It's about the, so he removed the sandal and gave to Boaz, right? So what is the significance? Why did he do that one? Yeah, it's a tradition, of course. It's a culture, and more than that, we are studying about the economic. Does it have any significance to the economic? Hmm? Yeah, it's actually, so when we give, or when someone give his sandal to someone, it signifies, or it says that he is giving his right. So it's actually a symbolic way. Like in this book, it is written like, such an action symbolized releasing one's right to land he walked on. He's releasing his right to land he walked on. Okay, so if I am just removing my sandal, I am giving you, it's like I am giving my right to you, because I walked on my land with my sandal, and now you are the owner. So that it signifies that one. Okay, of course, that's a tradition, it's a culture, but more than a culture, it says that. So it's giving actually an agreement. In those days, in an agreement. And again, when Jacob was going away from his father-in-law, his wife Rahel, right? Jacob's wife is Rahel. Rahel took some idols from the house of Laban, and Laban, he followed to get it, and once he got it, he just went back peacefully. And you know what is the significance of that idols? In Malayalam, it says that graha bimbam. It's like house idols. In Malayalam, it says. Is there any significance? It's not merely an idol. Okay? Of course, it was an idol, but more than an idol, it was the, like what do you call? We have an agreement, right? In our houses, the property agreement, and that agreement shows that this land belongs to us, right? So if you want to sell that property, what we will do? We will write an agreement, or we will give that one to someone else by signing, right? So that, if you don't have that agreement, that in Malayalam we call adharam. Adharam. If you don't have that one, so we cannot possess, or we cannot claim the authority over that land. The same way, that idol, who holds that idol, is having the right of that land. So that is why Rahel took that idol. So the Laban, he just came back. So if she possess or if she claim for that land, so he cannot do anything. He will lose all the property. That is why he came after her and he took the property. So that's again one more example I'm just giving. So here sandal signifies what? Just releasing one's right to land he walked on. Okay. Okay, that is about the economic. Now it's very clear, right? So there are so many other instances we can see like this. If you don't know the background of such events, such economic status, we will not be able to completely understand, completely interpret that sections. Now the fourth section is legal, the legal side, legal side. Okay, in Second Kings chapter 2 verses 9. In Second Kings Second Kings 2 verses 9, when Elisha said to Elijah, that let me inherit double portion of your spirit, right? He asked the double portion of your spirit. Was he asking for twice as much spiritual power as Elijah had? So what is the significance? He is asking the double portion. What is the idea? So we are studying legal, okay? So when we answer, you just think that one in your mind and answer. Why? Badal, you just think. Give me the answer. So why did Elisha ask the double portion? So we always preach that one, right? But what is it? What is it meaning, or what does it mean? Why did he ask double portion?
He wants to know what kind of future life he will spend. It will be demanded
Higher than the Elisha, okay. More than or higher than. That is what normally we all think, right? But again, it has a like that's one side, okay. I agree with that. But again, the other side, when we think about legally, it's actually he was stating that he wanted to be his heir in the sense of being his successor. So when he asked the double portion, so indirectly he is asking that he want to be his successor. So it's talking about the heir or successor. Like just read one more portion. Deuteronomy chapter 21 verses 17. Deuteronomy 21 verses 17. There we see who get the double portion. Who get the double portion? The family.
he said
Uh,
firstborn.
the firstborn, right? The firstborn get the double portion. He is going to be the successor of that family or father, right? So when Elijah asked the double portion, it means he want to be the successor of Elijah, Elijah, and that is why he asked the double portion. Okay, now you understood, right? So you want to be the successor. That is why he asked the double portions. Okay. The other one is about legal. Now the other one is about agriculture. Agricultural. Agricultural. In the book of Amos, 4 chapter 4 verses 1. 4 verses 1. Why? Now, that is a very, very common term is used. Cows of Bashan, right? House of Bashan. And why did Amos call the woman of Bethel cows of Bashan? So he's addressing the woman in Bethel as cow of Bashan. So nowadays, if he address in such way, he will be in jail because, like, right, the feminists and all, they will make so many problems. So here he is just making such a statement. Why did Amos call the woman of Bethel house of Bashan? What do you think? So the cows of Bashans were very famous at that time. Okay, cows of very, they are very fat, and because they live in a fertile crescent, so they get enough food and they don't need to do anything, just simply eat and sleep, that's all, no other work. So they're very fat and they're doing nothing. So he is just actually pointing or symbolizing the woman in Bethel. They are very wealthy and lazy, they're doing nothing. Okay, so just like cows of Bashan, the women are very lazy and they're very fat and all. No, so he's just addressing, pointing that only, there is no other significance, just he's just taking and addressing that all. So, okay, the cows in Bashan, a fertile area northeast of the Sea of Galilee, were known for being fat. Like these cows, the women of Bethel were wealthy and lazy, doing little beside sitting around eating and drinking. So they are very healthy. I mean, they are very wealthy. They are very fat. They are doing nothing other than just drinking and eating. So he's just pointing the cows of Bashan. Cows of Bashan were very fat. They don't have anything to do, just eat, sleep, and that's all. In Job chapter 39 verses 1. Job chapter 39. Job chapter 39 verses 1. Again, someone is asking, do you know when the mountain gods give birth? So there is a question, do you know when the mountain gods give birth? So why? So here the god referred to probably Ibex or Ibex, I don't know what. The god is actually Ibex. That name, the category is Ibex, which hides in the mountain when it gives birth to its young. Okay, they will hide in the mountain when it gives birth to the children. Nobody, even the science, it is very like it's very wonderful. Like they were not able to see how it gives birth because no one is able to see where they are. They are hiding in the cliffs of the rock. It is very difficult for anyone to find them, and it is very difficult for anyone to find the young of ibex even now. And the naturalists have sought to observe the birthing of this animal but have been largely unsuccessful. They have tried to go and investigate, but they were unsuccessful to find it out. So that much we don't know where they are hiding, how they are hiding, and how they are giving birth. It is like, what do you call? It is clearly unknown and totally anonymous. Nobody knows it. And they have seen ibexes copulating and giving birth of their young in the mountains of Judea only 4 times in 30 years. Okay, Only 4 times in 30 years. Only 4 times in 30 years. So it is very difficult when we cannot exactly calculate the time and everything. It's very difficult. That's why that question is arise. Do you know when the mountain gods give birth? And of course, it was pointing up Job's in ignorance much of what goes in the world of nature. So why he asked that question? Because to tell or to convey the ignorance of Job. He's just pointing an example, and that example even today is very valuable. Yeah. Just take Mark chapter 11 verses 12 to 14. Mark 11. Mark 11, 12 to 14. Let's read that passage.
The next day, as they were leaving Bethany, Jesus was hungry.
Hmm.
Seeing in the distance a fig tree in leaf, he went to find out if it had any fruit. When he reached it, he found nothing but leaves, because it was not the season for figs. Then he said to the tree, "May no one ever eat fruit from it." Here again, his disciples were saying,
Okay. Have you ever read that passage? You might have read, right? Jesus Christ is cursing a tree, a fig tree, right? So what happened? In verses 11, what happened? Like he was going, so he was going to Bethany, right? Bethany, and he felt hungry. Then he saw a fig tree having leaves, and he went near to the tree. Then he saw nothing other than the leaves, right? And it also mentions that for it was not the season of the figs, for it was not the season of figs. And now what he said, he answered and said unto it, no man eat fruit from thee henceforward forever. And his disciple heard it. And the next day what happened? The fig tree was withered, right? The fig tree was withered. Now the question, so is it fig tree's mistake or Jesus' mistake? For it is it was not the season. If it was not the season, how can a fig tree give a fruit? Huh? Huh?
"What kind of tree?" Because I have seen it.
Yeah.
I'm 12 years, the first month.
Yeah.
Like a crop.
Yeah. Yeah. It is very clear that it is not Jesus' mistake, right? It's obviously fig tree's mistake. No, we cannot tell that Jesus Christ's mistake. So why then? So it like there are two things that we should so in normally when a fig tree, when there is a fig in the tree, a fig fruit in the tree, normally it will have the leaves. Okay, here Jesus Christ is actually taking that fig tree as an example. You know why? So he just pointing that as an example to the Pharisees and the disciple that, of course, you are just like the fig trees, and it has leaves. In those days, when a fig tree has leaves, it is clear that it has fruits. But this fig tree, it has only leaves, no fruits. The same way, those days people are like that. They are showing the spirituality, but if you go near to them, then there is no fruit. Like in outward appearance, they show like they are Paka believers and they do everything clearly and everything. But if you go closer to them, and there is no fruit in that. So Jesus Christ is taking that as an example. The Pharisees were like the fig trees. Now, by looking, the appearance is Paka, is very good, but when we go closer, there is nothing in that. So he's just taking that as an example. Okay? So for example, he is just taking that one. So if you study about fig tree, It is very clear that if it has a leaf, and there must be fruit. That's what obviously. And as he said, there is no season for fig tree. 12 months it can bear fruit. There is no particular season. In 12 months, and anytime it can fruit. So when it gives fruit, how do we know that one? It will have leaves. The leaves will be like in a size and shape. So everybody can know, okay, if that from far, if you know a fig tree has a leaf, it shows that it has fruit. But this fig tree, it has only leaves, no fruits. That is why he just took that as an example to tell the hypocrisy of Pharisees. The hypocrisy of Pharisees. Okay, and now we have still so many more, man. We have architectural, we have clothing, we have domestic, we have geography, we have military, we have social. Okay, we'll study in the next class detail. Okay, so far we studied about economics and legal and agriculture. Some of the examples, right? So the same way, these all are just examples. Okay, just examples. So when we do take a passage, you have to see whether these things are coming in that passage. If politics is there in that passage, if religious is matter, if economics is matter, if legal is matter, if agriculture is matter, then we need to consider each. So if you're taking Mark chapter 11, then it is agriculture related. Fig tree, you need to study about fig tree. Why did Jesus Christ say? No, if you read at a plain reading, it is that no, it was not the season, but Jesus Christ cursed the tree. It was the fault of Jesus Christ. Normally, if you read that one, but if you study it, it is clearly sees that in 12 months it has to bear fruit. No, they are bearing fruit, and by the outward appearance, Jesus Christ is taking that fig tree as an example to reveal the hypocrisy of the Pharisees. Same way, if you study that one, it is very clear for us. Okay, okay then. Now to go for the second years.